I'm back in the banks of Ganga, as you can see behind me. So this is Ganga, the holy river of India at Rishikesh. In fact, Ganga is not flowing full today because the flow is mostly controlled by a dam, a river that is a Tehri Dam. So yesterday when I came down from the mountains, it was flowing quite heavily. Now the flow is kind of restricted, but it is still amazing. And also behind me, you can see Sita Chula, that is a hanging bridge named after the heroine of Mahabharata. I mean, sorry, Ramayana, Sita. Rishikesh. The thing is that you will always get confused whether you are living in the myth or reality. There is a lot of things which is attached to the myths in this holy city. So sometimes you feel that okay, you are living in the time of Ramayana because there is Sita bridge, there is Ram Jhul, there is Lakshman Jhul. Further up there, as you can see, I think you can. I don't know if you can see it clearly. That is end of Sita Jhul, and from there, if you travel, let's say around a kilometer, you'll reach Ram Jhul. That is behind it. You can see from here, and further up you can see Lakshman Jhul. Lakshman Jhula is actually mythically it was constructed by Lakshman, brother of Rama in Ramayana, while looking for Sita. So that is what one of the stories it says. There are many myths around in the city actually. That is really amazing. So yeah, I'm going to be in Rishikesh for a couple of days more. Then I'm moving to an ashram, and then further going. I have no fixed agenda as of now. I'm just a traveler, just traveling. That's it. Okay. So we were talking about suffering yesterday, and suffering according to the Eastern philosophy, it says that everything is suffering. The world is suffering. You are suffering. There is nothing can escape suffering. And Buddhism says, Hinduism says, Advaita Vedanta says, and most interestingly, our subject of today, that is Kashmiri Shaivism, also says that suffering is what is permanent until you find a solution to it. And there are solutions. They are also giving solutions to the sufferings and how to alleviate it. Okay, so in the banks of Ganga, let me climb Sita Chul, and we'll talk about how suffering is defined and discussed in Kashmiri Shaivism and what are the solutions it is offering. Kashmiri Shaivism is an amazing philosophy. Let's go. Yes, now I am at Sita Chula, that is the hanging bridge named after Sita, the heroine of Ramayana. As you can see, this bridge, in fact, it has got three lanes to be precise, and the middle one is for pedestrians, and the one on the other side are for two-wheelers. So we are just walking across the river actually on the bridge, and going to the other side. It's an amazing morning. As you can see, the mountains up there. There is sunrise. That's east. Sun is about to rise on the mountains. So yeah, let's walk. And yeah, we are talking about Kashmiri Shaivism, and the world is suffering. Lokam shoka hadam cha samastam, as Shankaracharya says. So we need to find a solution to live happily and peacefully in this world. We cannot just say that okay, it's miserable, it is misery, full of misery. Don't accept it like the way existentialist of 20th century Europe said. No, we are different. We can find solutions. Okay, so in Kashmiri Shaivism, one of my favorite aphorisms in Pratyabhijna Hridayam goes like this: I am Shakti Daridra Samsari Uchyade Swashakti Vikasa Tu Shiva Eva. It simply means that we all have energy inside us, because according to Shaivism, the universe is made up of Shiva and Shakti. It is not different, it is not dual, don't get confused. Shiva and Shakti are one actually. Shakti is the manifestation or energy of Shiva, the ultimate Brahman, and Shiva is Nirguna, that means Shiva is not doing anything. All the actions are done by Shakti, which is projected by him. So that is the concept. So Shakti is actually the energy. So basically here it says that Shakti Daridra, that means the problem with us, the problem why we are suffering is that because we are Shakti Daridra. It is not we are short of energy, because we have full potential of reaching the energy where we want to, but unfortunately we don't have what do you call the capacity to bring it out. So Shakti Daridra is a very powerful word. It actually says it is not shortage of energy, it is actually poverty of energy. Look at the way the aphorism goes. It is Shakti Daridra, that means the poverty of energy, that is what it says. Yeah, so if what is this Swach Shakti Vikase? That means if you expand your energy by yourself, Swach Shakti, own energy. It is not talking about universal energy or the energy associated with Shiva. No, nothing like that. Swach Shakti Vikase. If you expand your own energy, then you will become Shiva. Tu Shiva Eva. So, becoming Shiva means becoming the ultimate consciousness, your true self. That is, in the truth, when it is true, when your self is true self, aligned to the true self or with the universal, what you call it, oneness, and there is no sorrow, there is no misery. Everything is one, and that is what we call in Ananda Dhara. That means Ananda is the ultimate, bliss and Dhara is the flow. So once you are in the flow of bliss, everything comes effortlessly to you. Success, happiness, contentment, whatever you achieve, whatever you want in your life comes to you effortlessly. So let us see how it, let us examine, because there are in Kashmiri Shaivism, they're talking about something like 3 or 4 Shaktis, 3 or 4 different energies. Let us examine just one single energy, because we don't have time. So we'll just examine one single energy today. Okay, I'll just go to the other side of the bridge and then we'll discuss on there. Now we are on the other side of Sita Chula. You can see the bridge from here in the full glory, and the Ganga in the full glory. This is a Snan Ghat. Snan Ghat means it's a bathing area. So let us talk about Shakti and energy. How energy can be used to get into the Dhara, get into the flow of happiness and bliss, peace. Okay, so Kashmir, as I told earlier, that Kashmiri Shaivism says, so Shakti, with your own power, you escalate your energy. So Shakti Vikase, to expand your energy within you, then you can become like Shiva. Tu Shiva Eva. This Tu Shiva Eva means you are going to reach your ultimate consciousness, your ultimate self. So in Anandadhara philosophy, we are not talking about ultimate self. We are not in the path of enlightenment. Our goal is not to achieve enlightenment. Our goal is to live as a grihasthashrami, that means as a householder, with full potential, and to have a happy and peaceful life, out of misery completely. That is what we plan. Our philosophy in Anandadhara says. Okay, so let us see how Kashmiri Shaivism helps us in achieving this. So here it says, as I told you, Shiva and Shakti are not separate. They are not dualism. They are not dual. They are not separate from each other. Shiva and Shakti are one. And Shakti is actually the universal manifestation of the Nirguna Shiva. Shiva, in fact, is Nirguna. Advaita Vedanta also says the same. Is not of any qualities. It's a quality less. So the quality of the universe comes from the projection of Shiva, and the projection of Shiva is Shakti. That is the universal energy. Okay. So and Kashmiri Shaivism talks about 4 or 5, I think 5 different energies, types of energies. That is Kriya Shakti, Icha Shakti, Ananda Shakti, Chit Shakti. Different types of Shaktis they're talking about. So all these Shaktis coming together will make you reach the Shivahood, the ultimate consciousness. So to get into the Ananda Dhara, that means the stream of the laminar flow of happiness, we need to look into what can we get out of these Shaktis, what can we learn out of the Shaktis, and how can we adopt to allow ourselves to Swashakti, increase the Swashakti, increase our own energy. And when you increase our energy level, we are in the laminar flow. Okay, turbulence happens. There is definitely turbulence, because we are living in a world which is not free from disturbances. So turbulence are there. The moment you get into the turbulent flow, you always find a way, a path to go back into your original Ananda Dhara. So let us examine. There is no time. I don't want to discuss all the energies today. So let us examine only one energy, that is the Kriya energy today. Okay, let's walk a little bit and maybe move more towards the bridge. As you can see the river bridge from here, it's sunrise. So yes, sun is coming up from the mountain up there. It's an amazing morning. I'm really enjoying walking along the Ganges, along the Ganga, the holy river. And as I told you, in this part of the world, the myth and reality are intertwined. I'm really enjoying it actually. Sometimes I feel like I'm walking at the time of Ramayana. Okay, let's go near to the bridge and talk about Kriya Shakti. the energy of action. So Shakti Vikase to Shiva Eva. Expand your own energy and you become Shiva. When you talk about Shiva, okay, we are talking about Dhara, that means the Ananda Dhara, the flow of happiness. So in that flow, everything is aligned perfectly with the universe. So that is the Shiva state actually, in other words, okay. So there are, as I told, there are many energies mentioned in Kashmiri Shaivism. So we are going to talk about Kriya Shakti, that is the energy of action here. Actually, action is universal. No one in this world, whether it's animate or inanimate, can go in time or live without doing any action. If it is an animate, so whether it is trees or human beings, so we all grow and decay. Growth and decay, growth, steady and decay are the qualities of living beings, whether it is tree or animals or human being or whatever. And if you look at the inanimate object also changes with time. Even the earth changes, even the sun disappears after some time. So everything is changing. So basically, that is because of action. So the moment we are born in this world as human beings, from the first cry out of a mother's womb, we are started doing actions. But unfortunately, as I mentioned earlier, due to our memes and genes, we are not kind of aligning our actions with this flow, with this eternal flow, or getting this Kriya Shakti within us, expanding it, the Kriya Shakti, or the confined Kriya Shakti to reach Shiva. That is what is not happening. So how to do that? How to get out of our Kriya Shakti and align it with the universal energy, universal vibration. And when you align, I'm repeating it again, when you align that, success flows to you, happiness flows to you, there is no restriction, there is no resistance. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that action is the only aim of your life, or the purpose of your life is your action. But again, there is action without attachment or action without expecting any results. That is the action which Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. It's the same action, because basically, if the moment you start attaching your actions with the results, your focus is deviated from action to the result. That is number one. So number one criteria for expanding Swashakti Vikase, that is expanding your Shakti, that is the Kriya Shakti, the energy of action, you have to detach completely from the outcome of the action. Okay. So when you detach the outcome of the action, you'll say, okay, then why I am doing this? You have to do. Why you are breathing? Because you have to do. Because it is a autonomous response. You are not realizing that you are breathing. It's also an action. Okay. But you are not expecting any results out of it, because you are not doing it deliberately. Like that, if you practice yourself to do your action without expecting anything in return, without seeing any goals, and go along with the flow, then it is amazing. I am telling you, your action will be you can get the maximum out of your action. Maximum effort you can put into whatever you are doing, whether you are studying, whether you are preparing your PowerPoint presentation for your next meeting, whatever it is, if you put 100% into it, then the results will flow automatically. Because once you get into the dhara, the results are already there. The result is actually happiness and super success. So don't look into that. Don't look into your results actually. It flows into you. So this is the union also. The Krishna says yoga, karmasu kaushalam. That means yoga is the union, is basically skill in action. So that means skill in action. That's it. He's not talking about anything further. No results or anything like that. Okay. That is number one. The second way to expand your energy, the karmic energy, the Kriya energy. The second way to expand your Kriya energy, let me adjust the camera a little bit. Yeah, it is sunrise. Okay, have a look at it. Oh no, my camera is not that good to see the sun. I can see the sun coming out of the mountain. Okay. The second one is that you have to see everything around you, whether it is another human being or an animal or an inanimate thing, whatever it is, not other than you. So when you are doing your karma, when you are doing your action, you are not alienating, you are not separating yourself from others. So this is actually an expansion or extension of what Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita. That means do your action without expecting any results. Here what we are saying is that do your action, and at the meantime see everything as one. Sarvatra Samadarsana, that's also from a philosophy from Shaivism. Sarvatra Samadarsana, everything is Shiva. There is nothing other than Shiva. Evam Shiva Uchyate, there is nothing other than Shiva. So, when you see that everything is you or part of you or expanded you, then absolutely there is no problem, because whatever action you are doing, you know that is it is for not for you alone, you as an individual, you as a contracted Shiva, but you are doing your action for the entire Brahma, the entire Shiva. You are doing the action for the actual Shiva. So that is an amazing concept. So if you club these two concepts, one is that, let me repeat, number one, don't expect anything in return when you do your action. Any action for that matter, whether you're doing an action in your family or whether you're doing your action in your office, school, studying, whatever, don't expect anything in return, because expectations dissolves the clarity of your action. So that is number one. Second one is that Samadarsana, everything is Shiva. So you are not separating yourself from the universe. Once you don't separate yourself from the universe, you know that your action is not only for you. There is no selfish action there. Action is for everyone. Okay. So if you practice these two things, that is number one of the energies. Swashakti Vikasa, how to expand your energy, and this is the Kriya energy, what we discussed today. Okay, so it is becoming crowded here in the bridge, and yeah, I'm going back for my breakfast, and then later today my plan is I'm going to Lakshman Jhula, and then sit there for some time and meditate maybe. Then I go to Beetle Ashrams and being in Rishikesh for a couple of days more. I have no specific plans of travel. Just leave as it goes, except that I have a plan of going and staying in an ashram with one of the gurus, and then for a few days. Other than that, there is no fixed plan. So I'll be in Himalayas for, I don't know, for so many days to come. So keep watching the space. Thank you.